Life is often perceived as a race, with each year, each day and each moment pushing us to achieve more, faster and sooner. Yet, the true quality of life is not measured by speed or accomplishments, but by how deeply we experience each moment. Entering 2026 with awareness means stepping into each day without the pressure of rushing, without being caught in the illusion that more is always better. Presence allows you to engage fully with life as it is, rather than constantly chasing what it could be. When you slow down, you give yourself the chance to feel the richness of every moment. Choosing presence over hurry transforms the way you perceive challenges and opportunities. When you are mindful, obstacles are no longer mere annoyances but lessons, and successes are no longer fleeting but deeply felt. Every action you take, every decision you make, carries more clarity and purpose. In this way, the year ahead becomes less about surviving the pace of life and more about living it consciously, with intention guiding every step you take. Rushing through life often leaves us disconnected from ourselves and others. Mindfulness allows you to reconnect, to notice the subtle beauty of ordinary experiences. A morning breeze, a shared smile, a moment of stillness. These seemingly small instances become the threads that weave a meaningful and vibrant year. The way you enter each day shapes the way you experience the entire year, and with awareness, even mundane moments gain significance. Being present also changes your relationship with time. Instead of seeing it as a limited resource to be conquered, you begin to understand it as a medium in which life unfolds. Time is not something to be fought against or manipulated, it is the canvas on which your experiences are painted. By entering 2026 mindfully, you create a rhythm where moments are not lost but lived fully, and the year becomes a collection of conscious choices rather than a blur of activity. Beginning the new year with presence sets the tone for everything that follows. It is not about achieving perfection or controlling every outcome, but about allowing life to be experienced in its fullness. Each breath, each thought and each action becomes an opportunity to live with clarity and purpose. Mindfulness is not just a practice for a moment, but a way of stepping into life itself, and by choosing it as you enter 2026, you invite a year of depth, meaning and true awareness. Awareness is the doorway to truly experiencing life. When you notice your thoughts, emotions and actions, you begin to understand the patterns that shape your days. Without awareness, life often passes in a blur, with decisions made unconsciously and opportunities overlooked. By being present with each moment, you create space to respond rather than react. And this simple shift can change the course of an entire year. Being conscious of your actions means recognizing the impact of even the smallest choices. Every word you speak, every thought you hold, and every step you take has consequences. When you approach life mindfully, these consequences become clearer and you are able to act in ways that align with your values and intentions. This clarity allows you to move through the year with purpose rather than drifting aimlessly. Awareness also deepens your connection with others. When you are fully present in your interactions, you listen with understanding rather than judgment, and your relationships gain depth and authenticity. Being conscious of how you affect and are affected by others helps create harmony and mutual respect, turning ordinary moments into meaningful experiences. Mindfulness helps you navigate challenges with composure. When difficulties arise, an aware mind does not panic or resist unnecessarily. Instead, it observes the situation with clarity, sees the possible responses, and chooses the one that serves best. This conscious approach reduces unnecessary stress and allows you to grow from every obstacle, turning setbacks into lessons. Awareness shapes the quality of your life. By paying attention to your thoughts, feelings and actions, you create a life guided by intention rather than habit. The year ahead unfolds with more clarity, purpose, and fulfillment when you cultivate this inner consciousness, transforming everyday experiences into moments of insight and growth. Your thoughts are powerful forces that shape the way you experience the world. Every perception, every feeling, and every action begins in the mind, and the way you think often becomes the lens through which life unfolds. If your mind is restless or clouded with negativity, the world around you can feel heavy and confusing. By paying attention to your thoughts, you begin to understand the patterns that influence your moods, choices, and reactions, giving you a greater sense of control over your life. Observing your thoughts does not mean suppressing them or judging them. It means creating a space within yourself where you can watch them arise and pass without being pulled into their drama. When you learn to witness your thoughts, you start to notice which ones serve you and which ones keep you trapped in fear, doubt, or distraction. This awareness allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting automatically, which is the key to living a balanced and fulfilling life. The mind has a tendency to wander toward worries about the future or regrets from the past. When you let these thoughts dominate, they can create unnecessary stress and limit your potential. By observing them without attachment, you regain the freedom to focus on the present moment. The present is the only place where real change can happen, and cultivating mindfulness over your thoughts allows you to engage fully with life as it is, rather than as your mind imagines it to be. Your thoughts also shape your reality through your beliefs and expectations. If you constantly tell yourself that things are difficult or that you are not capable, those thoughts often become self-fulfilling. By noticing these patterns and consciously shifting your mindset, you open the door to new possibilities. This does not mean ignoring challenges, but approaching them with clarity and intention rather than fear and limitation. Observing your thoughts is a practice of self-mastery. When you do not allow your mind to control you, you create space for insight, creativity, and peace. Life becomes less about being swept along by circumstance and more about consciously participating in it. By entering each day with this awareness, you begin to shape a reality that reflects your true intentions rather than the endless chatter of your mind. Happiness is often misunderstood as something that comes from achieving goals or acquiring more. Many people spend their lives chasing success, possessions, or recognition, thinking that these will bring fulfillment. Yet, true happiness is not about what you accomplish or acquire, it is about being fully present in the moment you are living. When you learn to notice and appreciate where you are right now, you discover a sense of joy that is independent of circumstances. Being fully aware means noticing the little things that are often overlooked, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the simple pleasure of a quiet moment. These are the subtle experiences that create a deep sense of contentment. Happiness does not need grand events or dramatic changes. It grows from the awareness of life as it is, without wishing it to be different. When you focus only on achievements or the future, you miss the richness of the present. The mind tends to pull you toward what is next, creating a constant sense of urgency or dissatisfaction. By choosing to stay aware of the now, you free yourself from this endless cycle of striving. Each moment becomes an opportunity to experience life fully, and in this awareness, happiness naturally arises. Awareness also allows you to respond to life with clarity rather than react out of habit or expectation. When you are present, you can make choices that reflect your true needs and values, rather than being driven by pressure, comparison, or desire for approval. This conscious approach to life brings a stability and inner peace that accomplishments alone cannot provide. Happiness is a state of being, not a result to be achieved. By cultivating awareness and living fully in each moment, you allow joy to emerge naturally from within. The richness of life is not in what you get or do, but in how deeply you experience the now. When you embrace the present with full attention, you carry a quiet, lasting happiness into every day. Letting go is one of the simplest yet most powerful acts you can do for yourself. Holding on to things that no longer serve you, whether they are old grudges, fears, habits, or regrets, only weighs you down and clouds your experience of life. Entering a new year while carrying these burdens is like walking into a room without seeing clearly. You stumble over what is behind you and miss the opportunities ahead. True freedom begins when you consciously release what limits you. Clinging to the past often gives a false sense of security. Familiar pain, familiar failures, and familiar patterns feel known, and the mind prefers what it understands, even if it causes suffering. By recognizing that these attachments are unnecessary, you allow yourself to step into life with openness. Letting go does not mean forgetting or ignoring the lessons of the past, it means not letting them control the present. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for growth and new possibilities. The mind and heart become lighter, and energy that was tied up in resisting change can now flow toward creation and joy. This act of letting go is not a single event, but a continuous practice of noticing what burdens you and choosing freedom instead. Letting go also transforms the way you experience relationships, work, and daily life. When you stop carrying resentment, fear, or unrealistic expectations, you interact with others more genuinely. Your actions become more conscious, your responses calmer, and your awareness sharper. Life unfolds with less friction and more ease because you are not dragging old weight into each new moment. Letting go is an act of self-respect and clarity. Entering 2026 with a clean heart and a clear mind allows you to see what truly matters, embrace what is possible and live with purpose. Each moment becomes brighter, each choice more intentional, and each experience richer when you release what does not serve you and step fully into the present. Every action we take sets something in motion, whether we immediately see it or not. Life is a web of cause and effect, and even small gestures can ripple out far beyond what we imagine. When we act without awareness, we risk creating unintended results, affecting ourselves and others in ways we might not notice until much later. Understanding this encourages us to slow down and consider the impact of what we do before we do it. Being conscious of your choices means recognizing that every thought, word and deed contributes to the world you live in. Nothing happens in isolation. Even seemingly insignificant actions, like the tone of a conversation or a fleeting decision, can influence relationships, opportunities, and circumstances. By acting mindfully, you align your intentions with the outcomes you wish to see, rather than letting habit or impulse dictate your path. Consequences are not always immediate, and their effects are not always obvious. Sometimes, the seeds we plant today only bear fruit months or years later. This is why awareness in action is essential. What we do now can shape our future in profound ways. When you take responsibility for your choices, you empower yourself to create a life that reflects your values and aspirations instead of leaving it to chance. Acting consciously also fosters integrity and trust. People around you notice when you move through life with awareness and care. Your actions become consistent with your words, and this alignment strengthens relationships and builds respect. When your behavior reflects thoughtfulness and responsibility, it creates harmony and reduces unnecessary conflict in your life. Understanding that every action has consequences transforms the way you live. You start to act with intention rather than reaction, awareness rather than habit. Each choice becomes an opportunity to create the life you want, to nurture growth, and to bring more clarity and purpose into every moment. Living this way turns ordinary actions into meaningful steps toward a conscious and fulfilled life. Time is not something to be conquered, it is something to be lived. Most people treat time as a resource to control, measure or race against. But in reality, it is the very medium in which life unfolds. Every moment exists within time, and rushing through it only makes you miss the depth of experience that is possible when you move in harmony with it. Life gains quality not by how quickly you accomplish things, but by how fully you inhabit each passing moment. When you stop trying to dominate time, you begin to notice its natural rhythm. There is a flow to life, a pulse that carries growth, change and opportunity in its own pace. Trying to force events or accelerate outcomes only creates stress and frustration. By aligning yourself with the natural flow, you move through life with ease, making choices that feel right rather than being driven by urgency or fear of loss. Living in time rather than fighting it also changes the way you experience waiting, setbacks and uncertainty. Moments that once felt like delays or interruptions become part of the process, each carrying lessons or preparing you for what comes next. Patience is not passivity, it is a conscious engagement with the unfolding of life. When you respect time, you find that events often arrive exactly when they are meant to, and trying to hurry them serves no purpose. Time is a mirror to your awareness. When you are present, even the simplest moments feel full and alive. Meals, conversations, walks, or moments of silence gain meaning because you are fully in them, not lost in thought or worry. Living with attention to the passage of time brings a clarity and depth to life that constant rushing can never offer. Respecting the flow of life allows you to act with intention and live with presence. Time is not an enemy to be conquered, but a companion in which every experience can be savored. Entering 2026 with this understanding invites a year where each day is meaningful, each moment is fully experienced, and life unfolds with grace rather than struggle. Inner silence is often overlooked in the rush of daily life, yet it holds the key to clarity and understanding. When the mind is constantly noisy with thoughts, worries and distractions, it becomes difficult to see the next step clearly. Silence is not emptiness, it is a presence that allows you to observe yourself and the world without distortion. In those quiet moments, you can notice patterns, recognize what truly matters and sense the subtle guidance that life offers. Stillness is where insight begins. When you stop reacting and simply allow yourself to be, the mind unclutters and the heart becomes perceptive. Decisions that once felt confusing or overwhelming become clearer, not because the world has changed, but because you are able to perceive it without interference. Silence creates the space for wisdom to emerge, and in that space, you learn to trust your own understanding rather than being carried by external pressures or fleeting emotions. Inner silence also strengthens your ability to be present with others. When you are not consumed by mental chatter, your attention becomes full and your interactions gain depth and authenticity. Listening, observing and responding from a place of calm awareness transforms relationships, making them more meaningful and grounded. Silence within yourself creates the ability to hear what others are truly saying beyond words. The practice of stillness is not about avoiding life, but about engaging with it more fully. By spending time in quiet reflection, meditation, or mindful presence, you reconnect with your inner compass. This clarity allows you to act with intention rather than habit, to respond with thoughtfulness rather than react impulsively. Life flows more smoothly when guided by the calmness of inner silence. Cultivating inner silence turns it into a reliable guide. It helps you navigate uncertainty, make wise choices, and recognize opportunities that might otherwise go unnoticed. The quieter the mind, the clearer the path forward, and entering each day with this practice allows life to unfold with more ease, depth, and purpose. Relationships are not just about being with someone, they are about truly noticing and understanding one another. Most interactions happen on autopilot, where words are spoken but not fully heard, and emotions are felt but not fully acknowledged. When you bring awareness into your relationships, you start paying attention to the subtle cues, the unspoken feelings, and the energy that flows between you and others. This presence changes ordinary conversations into moments of genuine connection. Being mindful in relationships means listening without judgment and speaking with intention. Instead of reacting out of habit, you observe your own emotions and responses, creating space for clarity and understanding. You begin to notice what your partner, friend, or family member truly needs, rather than projecting your own assumptions or expectations onto them. Awareness allows interactions to be rooted in empathy rather than routine. Awareness also helps in recognizing patterns that may have caused tension in the past. When you notice how certain behaviors trigger reactions in yourself or others, you gain the ability to respond differently. This conscious approach reduces misunderstandings and fosters harmony. Relationships grow stronger when both people engage with attention and presence rather than repeating unconscious cycles. By being present, you also cultivate appreciation for the small gestures that often go unnoticed. A smile, a supportive word, or a shared moment of silence carries far more weight when fully acknowledged. Awareness transforms these moments into meaningful experiences, deepening trust and intimacy. Life becomes richer not through grand gestures, but through conscious attention to the everyday interactions that shape connection. Awareness in relationships allows them to become spaces of growth and mutual understanding. You learn to act with kindness, respond with patience, and connect with sincerity. Ordinary interactions become opportunities to deepen connection, and each relationship, when nurtured with mindfulness, contributes to a more harmonious and fulfilling life. Gratitude is more than just saying, "thank you." It is a way of seeing the world. When you begin to notice the simple gifts around you, the warmth of the sun, the breath in your lungs, the people who care for you, you shift your perspective from lack to abundance. Life itself becomes richer when you approach it with a sense of appreciation rather than expectation. Starting each day with awareness of these gifts sets the tone for everything that follows. When you recognize even the smallest blessings, your mind becomes calmer and your heart lighter. Challenges do not disappear, but they are experienced differently, because gratitude allows you to see opportunities and lessons even in difficulty. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into meaningful experiences. A shared smile, a kind word, or a quiet moment of peace can carry far more weight when noticed fully. The act of being thankful turns what is often overlooked into something significant, and life begins to feel more connected, alive, and purposeful. Living with gratitude also nurtures your relationships. When you appreciate those around you sincerely, it deepens trust and connection. People respond to awareness and acknowledgement, and your interactions become more genuine and harmonious. Gratitude is not something you do for others, it is a reflection of the awareness and fullness within you. Gratitude is not a technique or a routine, it is a way of being. When you carry it as a quality of your presence, every thought, action, and moment becomes an opportunity to recognize life's gifts. Entering each day with this awareness allows you to live with more joy, clarity and openness, making every experience more meaningful. Life is often spent running after experiences, thinking that fulfillment lies in constantly doing more or seeking something new. We plan, chase and strive, believing that happiness is always just around the corner. Yet, the richness of life does not come from the number of experiences you accumulate, but from the depth with which you live each one. When you slow down and allow yourself to fully inhabit the moment, life opens up in ways that constant pursuit cannot offer. Embracing experiences means accepting them as they are without forcing them to fit your expectations or desires. Every situation, whether joyful or challenging, carries a lesson or insight when approached with openness. By being present in each moment, you no longer measure life by what you have done or achieved, but by how fully you have lived it. Presence turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. When you stop chasing, you begin to notice the subtleties that are usually missed in haste. The laughter of a friend, the quiet beauty of nature, the simple rhythm of your own breath. These moments gain significance when you are fully aware of them. Life's richness is found in noticing and savoring what is already here rather than constantly seeking what is not. Being fully present also transforms how you respond to experiences. Instead of reacting out of habit or desire, you observe and engage with clarity and understanding. Challenges become opportunities for growth and pleasures become sources of genuine appreciation. Embracing life in this way cultivates balance, peace, and contentment that chasing can never provide. Life is not a collection of experiences to be hunted, but a flow to be lived consciously. Each moment carries the potential for awareness, joy, and learning if you are truly present. When you choose to embrace life rather than chase it, every experience becomes a doorway to depth, meaning, and true fulfillment. Pain and joy are two sides of the same coin, each carrying lessons that can shape the way you live. Pain often arrives uninvited, demanding attention and pushing you out of comfort. It can feel heavy, uncomfortable, or even unbearable. Yet it carries wisdom about your limits, attachments, and areas in life that need attention or change. When approached with awareness, pain becomes a guide rather than just an obstacle. Joy, on the other hand, is often fleeting and subtle. It may appear in laughter, a quiet moment of peace, or a sense of connection with life. Joy teaches you to recognize what nourishes your heart and soul, and it reminds you that life is not only about struggle, but also about celebration and appreciation. Observing joy fully allows it to leave a lasting impression rather than slipping away unnoticed. Both pain and joy are teachers because they reveal the impermanence and depth of life. Pain shows what needs transformation, while joy shows what is already aligned with your being. Neither should be clung to or resisted, each must be observed with presence. By noticing without judgment, you learn to respond with clarity instead of reacting impulsively, which is the essence of mindful living. Experiencing these emotions deeply helps you understand yourself more fully. Pain can reveal hidden fears or unresolved emotions, while joy highlights your capacities for love, gratitude and connection. Together, they map the terrain of your inner life, offering insights that mere thought or analysis cannot provide. Observing them carefully allows you to navigate life with wisdom and balance. Treating pain and joy as teachers transforms the way you approach life. Moments of suffering and moments of delight are no longer random or purely external, they become opportunities for growth and awareness. By learning from them without judgment, you cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and the world, and each experience becomes a step toward greater clarity and presence. Simplicity is not about having less in your life, but about clearing the clutter from your mind so that awareness can thrive. When the mind is crowded with unnecessary thoughts, worries or distractions, it becomes difficult to notice what is truly happening around you. By simplifying your mental space, you create room for clarity, understanding and presence, allowing each moment to be experienced fully. A simple mind is a conscious mind. When you let go of excessive planning, overthinking and the endless what-ifs, you become more attentive to the present. Decisions are made with clarity, interactions become more genuine, and even ordinary experiences gain depth. Simplicity allows you to focus on what matters most rather than being pulled in multiple directions by trivial concerns. Simplicity also brings a sense of calm and ease. When you reduce the noise of unnecessary thoughts or obligations, the mind settles into a state of quiet awareness. This calm is not passive, it is active presence. In this space, you can observe yourself, others, and life itself without judgment, and your actions flow naturally from clarity rather than habit or pressure. When life is simplified, gratitude and appreciation grow. Small moments that are often overlooked, a morning breeze, a kind word, a quiet pause, begin to feel meaningful. Without mental clutter, you notice beauty, connection and harmony that were always present but hidden beneath the noise of distraction. Simplicity amplifies your experience of life rather than diminishing it. Simplicity is a gateway to mindfulness. It is not about doing less for the sake of less, but about creating mental space for awareness, presence and intentional living. By embracing simplicity, you allow each thought, action and moment to carry full attention, turning life into a series of conscious and meaningful experiences rather than a blur of constant business. Every moment carries the possibility of a fresh start, a chance to let go of the past and step into what is. Life constantly moves and each second offers an opening to observe, adjust and redirect yourself. When you notice this, you stop being trapped by what has already happened and begin to engage with what is happening right now. Every day, every hour, every breath is an opportunity to reset your awareness and your intention. Entering the new year with openness means releasing rigid expectations. When the mind clings to specific outcomes or timelines, life becomes a struggle between what is and what we think should be. By approaching each moment without insisting it conforms to a plan, you create the space to see what truly unfolds. Openness allows life to surprise you, to teach you and to guide you in ways that preconceptions could never anticipate. Resetting yourself does not require grand gestures. It can be as simple as pausing to breathe, noticing your thoughts, or observing your surroundings without judgment. Each reset is a reminder that you are not defined by your past actions, mistakes or regrets. You carry the power to shift your perspective, realign your priorities and respond with clarity rather than habit. Living with this awareness changes how you experience challenges and opportunities. Obstacles no longer feel like permanent setbacks because you see each moment as a chance to adjust and try again. Successes are not just achievements but reminders of your capacity to engage fully and consciously. This mindset brings flexibility, resilience, and a quiet confidence that the year ahead is what you make of it moment by moment. Entering 2026 with openness transforms every day into a practice of mindful living. Expectations lose their weight and life becomes an unfolding journey rather than a series of demands. By recognizing that every moment is a chance to reset, you step into the year with clarity, presence and the freedom to live fully in the now. Mindfulness is more than a practice you do for a few moments each day, it is a way of living. When you treat it as a commitment rather than a task, every part of your life becomes an opportunity to be fully present. The way you eat, walk, speak, or even breathe can be infused with awareness, transforming ordinary moments into experiences of clarity and depth. Each breath carries the chance to anchor yourself in the present. When you notice the inhale and exhale, you connect with life itself, letting the mind settle and the heart open. Breath is not just a biological function, it is a doorway to consciousness. By paying attention to it, you cultivate a steady awareness that flows into every other aspect of your day. Every step you take can be a reminder of presence. Walking becomes more than moving from one place to another. It becomes a meditation in motion. Feeling the ground beneath your feet, noticing the rhythm of your movement, and staying connected to your surroundings turns something as simple as walking into an opportunity to center yourself and engage fully with life. Even thoughts can be approached with mindfulness. Rather than letting them pull you into distraction or worry, you observe them, acknowledge them, and gently return your attention to the present. This does not mean emptying the mind or controlling it forcefully. It means being aware of the movement of thought without being swept away. Each moment of noticing strengthens your ability to live intentionally. Ultimately, mindfulness as a commitment transforms your life from a series of automatic reactions into a continuous, conscious experience. Each breath, step, and thought becomes a chance to practice presence, to deepen understanding, and to live with clarity. When you carry this awareness into every moment, life itself becomes a meditation and every day unfolds with greater purpose and peace.